Newton News continues its candidate profiles. This week, we interviewed Rajeev Parlikar, who is seeking the Ward 1 school committee seat currently held by Bridget Ray-Canada. Rajeev Parlikar is running for school committee in the 2021 election. His campaign is based on ensuring inclusion and excellence for all individuals in the Newton school community. A longtime Newton resident, he brings diverse perspectives from his life experiences and career history.
I bring a lot of diverse perspectives to running for school committee. First, I moved to the US as a 17-year-old to start college. I have the experience of having lived in 2 other countries and bring perspectives from places where the education system is different. It's better in certain ways, potentially, and certainly not as good in others. I also bring the perspective of having lived in Newton since 1994 and having an understanding of Newton Public Schools a little bit since that time, and certainly much more deeply from the point that my son started in Newton Public Schools when he turned 3.
His career and experience in business as a strategy consultant and an executive has properly prepared him for his seat on the committee.
I believe that my professional work is actually going to be a tremendous asset as a school committee member. I understand how to deal with ambiguity. I understand how to look at data. And my decisions will be focused on one single thing. What is the right decision for our students? And around that, we'll be trying to make sure that we are being thoughtful, we're being data-driven, we're being pragmatic, we're exercising fiscal oversight, and doing our best to make good decisions that will work for Newton in both the short term and the long term.
One of his top priorities is ensuring that all types of students can thrive, from high-achieving individuals to mainstream or special needs students.
I think Newton has an excellent public school system, but I do think that we can improve and have to improve continuously to keep up with what our students need. I also think that we have the opportunity to set the course over the next many years to establish and maintain a school system that provides support to students of every type, from those who are high achievers to those who are high needs, and absolutely the mainstream students as well. The idea is that all students should receive the support, opportunities, and challenges that meet them where they are and help them to grow to their full potential. I've seen firsthand in Newton the benefits of having supports in place for my son, who is a special needs student. And I've also seen the supports that have helped his friends and the children of my friends to do extremely well in those situations where they had that opportunity and were able to step up to the challenge.
After a tough year, Parlikar is committed to rebuilding healthy relationships between the schools, parents, and other support systems in the city.
I think it's going to take some time and effort to rebuild that trust. And part of that is going to be working very hard on communications and transparency. I've realized how much work is done by teachers, by Newton Public School administrators, and by the school committee behind the scenes. And I think there's a significant gap between what's happening and what parents hear about. So I think that needs to be addressed. I think it's okay to let parents know, let families know what's going on and what's being worked on, even if there is no final decision on it, or if there's no baked recommendation that's ready to put in front of the school committee.
Creating a diverse and inclusive community is another top priority for Parlikar. Facilitating and maintaining this type of environment comes from educating students on how to think, he says.
Part of the role of Newton Public Schools, I think, is to help our students become critical thinkers, critical consumers of news or what they read on the internet or what someone says to them, whether that someone is a teacher, a family member, or someone they run into. Having that level of critical thinking is going to go a long way towards making our schools more inclusive, more supportive, more of a safe environment. There is no strict sequence of things we would do where once we get to the end of those, we can check the box and say, we have an inclusive environment. It's going to be an ongoing journey, but it is critical that we help our students think for themselves, think critically, and be welcoming and inclusive of those who are different from them.
I'm Nicole Mader with Newton News.